The NCAA verdict is in for Michigan and Sherrone Moore for the Connor Stalions Spygate infractions. Everything you need to know is right here on a special breaking news version of Locked On Big Ten. It starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon. 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below while you're watching so you never miss a single episode. We just got past 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. But the NCAA has spoken regarding Michigan, and it's more than a slap on the wrist, but it's less than the hammer that I think that Michigan haters were wanting for the last year and a half or so. Whatever you want to call it. The Connor Stalions Spygate scandal, the Michigan sign stealing scandal, the advanced scouting case, it's finally over. The NCAA Committee on Infractions followed up its June hearing on the school's notice of allegations from the scandal that became national news in the middle of Jim Harbaugh's undefeated national championship season of 2023 with its final ruling. In a nutshell, it's a pretty big nutshell, so we're going to go through a lot of stuff here. Michigan will face a series of fines that could go north of $30 million. However, there will be no postseason ban. There will be no victories vacated. Michigan's 2023 season national championship stands. Nobody's taking it away. Now, regarding head coach Sherrone Moore, who, of course, was Michigan's offensive coordinator in 2023, and he deleted 52 text messages between himself and Spygate mastermind Connor Stalions. These messages were eventually recovered, but they failed to rise to the level of a smoking gun that would have shown that Moore knew the extensive detail of Connor Stalions' scouting operation. But Moore did initially delete them, and he will be suspended for an additional game. It's going to be the first game of the 2026 season. So not this year, next year. He was already set to serve a self-imposed 2-game suspension for weeks 3 and 4 of this upcoming season, and that will still stand. So 2 games this year from the self-imposed suspension, and the NCAA is adding another game, but they say he can wait till the opening game of 2026 to go ahead and serve that. By the way, the first game of 2026 for Michigan is against Western Michigan, and that game will likely take place in Frankfurt, Germany. Sherrone Moore's 2-gamer this season will be the full 2 weeks. Remember, he will have no contact with his team whatsoever. They kind of changed the NCAA in 2024, said, all right, these suspensions, we're going to be for the whole week. Because remember, Jim Harbaugh would coach all week. He had 2 separate 3-game suspensions in 2023. He coached all week. He just didn't join the team on the sidelines for the games. So Sherrone Moore's going to do a full 2 weeks here, and then a suspension for the first game of the season next year. The NCAA didn't stop there. They also levied a 10-year show cause penalty for former coach Jim Harbaugh and an 8-year show cause penalty for Spygate mastermind Connor Stalions. Stalions reportedly fell on the sword during their hearing in June. You knew he would. If you know anything about the guy, he's all Michigan all the time, no matter what. And he's always said from the beginning that Harbaugh didn't know what was going on. It was just him. Anyway, this was what the NCAA came up with following all of that. Now, show cause penalties, they basically act to prevent schools from hiring these coaches in the future for a specific period of time. Sherrone Moore's 2-year show cause means that if Michigan were to fire him or if he stepped down, he could not be rehired by another college school for 2 years. But Sherrone Moore's not going anywhere. All right, so forget about that. So the show cause part of it has very little effect. Jim Harbaugh's 10-year show cause will begin once his current 4-year show cause from Burgergate expires. So now we're up to 14 years. Basically, Harbaugh, who's now coaching the LA Chargers, couldn't return to coach college football if he wanted to until after the year 2038. He'd be 75 years old at that time. So basically, this is a lifetime ban on Jim Harbaugh. Connor Stalions received an 8-year show cause. The NCAA deemed that he orchestrated his advanced scouting operation that included 56 instances of off-campus in-person scouting of 13 of Michigan's future regular season opponents in the 2021, 2022, and 2023 seasons. Now, regarding the fine, it's a little complicated, up to $30 million, maybe more. In true NCAA fashion, it's complicated. So first of all, it's a $50,000 base fine. That's what we're starting with. Then they're going to add a 10% fine, 10% of the football budget. Now in 2024, Michigan's football budget was $70 million. So it's a $7 million fine added to the $50,000. And an additional 10% of the cost of football scholarships for the 2025 season. And the loss of all postseason monies from Michigan that they would get from Michigan and or what the Big Ten would bring in from the postseason. Michigan does not get any of that. That'll be to the tune of $20 million if you want to base it on last year's number. So add it all up. This is going to be a lot of money. It's going to be in the neighborhood of north of $30 million. And, I don't know if Michigan pays that off with donations or whatever the case may be. I know all schools, even the well-to-do schools, are trying to scrap together an additional $20 million for revenue share. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But I think overall, look, you've all read the message boards. I've read them as all the time. People hit me up on Twitter. Usually Ohio State fans, every day it's like, oh, the hammer is coming. The hammer is coming. Look, it's a big financial fine. There's no doubt about that. But for the most part, it's business as usual for Michigan football, right? No games were taken away, no wins. And we didn't think they were going to take away the championship or any of that because the playoffs are not run by the NCAA per se. I don't know how and you got the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, on the record saying that Michigan won fair and square. Spygate didn't help them win any games. So I never thought, and I said this on this podcast, I never thought they were going to take games away, wins away from Michigan at any point. I was real curious about how far they would go with Sherrone Moore. Interesting point when you look at how they kind of tweaked how you could suspend a coach, as I mentioned just a minute ago, where Jim Harbaugh just sat out the games but coached all week, and Sherrone, you can't really do that anymore. And Sherrone Moore, the first 2 weeks that he's sitting out this year, not going to coach, not going to have any contact with his team whatsoever. I don't know how you do that next year for the first game of the season. I mean, you're in summer camp, and then you have your first game. Is he going to do all of summer camp and then 6 days out, he can't coach anymore, and then the team gets on a plane and flies over to Germany for that game in Frankfurt? I don't know. I don't know how that works out. I still want to kind of keep my eyes and ears open for that because I think it's very interesting. So that's most of what happened. There were some other stuff that came down from the NCAA as well. There were some other recruiting violations they were exploring as part of that hearing in June. In addition to all this, Michigan will be on 4 years probation, and former player Denard Robinson, he was hit with a 3-year show cause for recruiting violations as well. So a lot of big breaking news going into the weekend here. It's just crazy. We had to jump on here on Locked On Big Ten with a special edition. I still have some other thoughts. First of all, I want to hear your thoughts, though, in the comment section. Michigan fan, are you relieved? Is this it? It's over. Were you expecting worse? Was anybody expecting Sherrone Moore to be, get 4 games or a year? Ohio State fan, I want to hear from you because you guys have been the loudest wanting the hammer to fall on Michigan. I don't think this qualifies as the hammer because, $30 million is a lot. That really didn't affect you or me. With the football team moving forward into the 2025 season. I want to hear from you in the comment section here. If you are new, we're here every day, by the way. If you're just checking us out today, because this was a breaking story that you checked out, we're all things Big Ten. Hit that free subscribe button down below, and you can follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. We just passed 20,000 subscribers. We're rolling. Join the bandwagon with us here as we get ready for the season. Join the club. Be with us every day. Also, share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten as well. And don't forget, we have a website, talkbig10.com, the number 10. And all of our podcasts go there. Plus, you can get school merchandise. If you're a Michigan fan, Ohio State fan, shirts, T-shirts, hats, all right there on the link with all of our podcasts. So you can check that out as well. But a couple more things I want to discuss. All right. So what's next exactly for Sherrone Moore? And what about the NCAA moving forward? All that coming up here in just 1 minute on Locked On Big Ten. Let me tell you about FanDuel. They're big. They're part of us. They got a big day coming up, August 26th. It is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. Make it official. Make it. Just don't sit here in the back of your brain. Make this official for 24 hours, a 24-hour period. FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your shot for the MVP, or maybe you got a hunch about a long shot division winner that you want to jump on. Maybe you want to announce here in August who you think your Super Bowl champ is going to be in February, even before week 1 kicks off. This is your moment to jump in. Pick your MVP. Pick your Super Bowl winner. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you another one right here. Aiden Hutchinson will be the comeback player of the year, coming back from that gruesome injury, but he will also be defensive player of the year. Parlay those together. Pretty good. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is 1 day and 1 day only. FanDuel, play your game. Tell you about Rougiette. The Rougiette is for guys, if you've probably heard about Viagra and Cialis, and maybe you even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Ready. Rougiette Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. And unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rougiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours. So you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options have not worked for you, Rougiette might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made this switch. So you can check that out. You can even look at real customer reviews on their website as well. Head to rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege and use the code LockedOnCollege and get 15% off today. That's Rougiette, RUGIET, rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege, and use the promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information. I've got a couple of thoughts here for you as we're just kind of absorbing all this news at Michigan and the NCAA. So what's next? I thought this would be it. Final decision. That's it. But the NCAA added one caveat on Friday's announcement, and that Sherrone Moore can still appeal the additional 1-game suspension for 2026. You know what? At this point, let's just roll. We're all tired of it. Just take the suspension. But I imagine he may appeal. That would be another hearing. I mean, stop it already. And yet, you want to get it over with, but then the NCAA with a weird move to let this linger into 2026. Why not tack it on to 2025? And it was really weird because Michigan did the self-imposed thing for weeks 3 and 4, not 1 and 2, so that Moore could coach Oklahoma, maybe his alma mater. Maybe the NCAA wanted to let him do that, because what would they do? Would they come out, all right, well, let's do the suspension here in 2025, but maybe at the hearing, Michigan said it'd be really important for Sherrone Moore to coach Oklahoma. So is the NCAA going to say, all right, you're suspended for game 1, go coach game 2 at Oklahoma, and then sit out 3 and 4, or do you tack it on to the 5th game? It's all too weird. So it seems like the NCAA kind of capitulated a little bit for Michigan and put it on to 2026, and I think this thing will linger forever. By the way, this may be the last blast for the NCAA as far as punishments in schools and whatnot. Following this summer's House settlement that ushered in revenue sharing, we now will have more oversight on that, and oversight of college football will be handled by the new College Sports Commission, and the NCAA will have much less power moving forward. So this might be the last throwdown of a suspension by the NCAA. If you are new to us here today, thank you for discovering us. Look, we're a unique Big Ten podcast. I say we're the most unique Big Ten podcast in the world. We got the video on YouTube, audio, wherever you get your podcasts. We do all 18 teams under one roof. We give you all the news. We give you analysis of that news, and we're not afraid to give you our opinion of that news. We also take your opinion in the comments as well. You put all that under one umbrella, and we are the most unique Big Ten podcast out there. So join us, and we're here each and every day. If you're a fan of the Big Ten, you probably are if you're checking out this podcast today. I know you know somebody that you went to school with or you're friends with or your family members who like the Big Ten, but they might not know we're out here every single day. Let them know, word of mouth, or hit that little arrow, the little share arrow, and send this podcast to them. That would be doing us a great favor. Whatever you do, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll never miss a single episode moving forward. We're here every day. And then we also have live podcasts on Saturdays during the season after the biggest games. For example, right after Texas, Ohio State, we're going live. There'll be about 3:30 in the afternoon that day, Eastern time. We'll be here for all of that. There's many ways for you to interact with this podcast at Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten, number 10. Don't forget our website at talkbig10.com. That's also with the number 10, talkbig10.com. Again, hit that subscribe button right now, and also give us a follow and a share and a like. Check us out for a second listen right here on our YouTube channel. If you want to go back and check out yesterday's podcast, it's right there for you. Plus, we also invite you to check out our friend Brian Smith of the Portal Show, part of the Locked On family, all things transfer portal. That's doing really well. You might want to check that out as well. That'll do it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Big news. We're all over it. Otherwise, we'll check you out on Monday for Locked On Big Ten and this special breaking news edition. I'm Craig Shemon. We'll see you next time.